The wait is finally over. Alan Wake 2 is officially out for everyone to play. If you've seen my recent video, then you know that I've been itching to get my hands on the game. Last night, I played about 3.5 hours of Alan Wake 2, which you can find on my Twitch channel. Spoiler alert, I was honestly blown away by what I've experienced. But I know that some people may be hesitant to get the game with all the great games that have coming out this year, especially with Spider-Man 2 that just came out as well, like last week. And so that's why I wanted to make this video to go over my impressions of the game, to get an opinion of somebody that actually played a hefty amount of the game, and help influence your decision in getting the game. So before we get started, I just wanted to say that this is not my final opinion of Alan Wake 2. I am still in the early hours of the game. I haven't completed it yet. So don't take this as like my word. My opinion may change of the game by the end of it. Honestly, don't think it would so far from when I played. But, still, the world is full of surprises, so it may change. One of the things that I can definitely say about the game is that it's definitely spooky. Remedy has done a masterful job at building suspense and tension. I felt so paranoid walking through the game, especially in the early hours, especially in the beginning parts. I was hearing whispers on one side of the ear, I've seen things move in the forest on the other side of the screen. The tone is like really dark and gritty, and I absolutely love it. And if you're worried that you have to play the original game to enjoy or understand the sequel, don't worry, you don't have to do that. Remedy is sure that you don't have to. And through me playing as I was playing it, it didn't really, I felt like for like a new player should be able to understand what is happening in the story without having previous experience playing the original game. The game also does a great job at enticing you to progress the story. Every time you find an answer to one question, it reveals more that you have to find answers for. And it's not done in a way that makes you feel like the game is being padded. The story unfolds in the most natural and genuine way possible, presenting new mysteries that add on top of what is already known about the game, and it makes total sense and is related to the story and the lore of like the Alan Wake or the Remedy cinematic universe as it's known as. Every time that I found something new in the game, I'm literally like in my head theorizing how it fits into the pieces of like the grand scheme of like the game's lore and story, and what I expect that's going to happen in the next games. Like there's a couple of theories I already have in mind that I'm hoping it's not true, but I gotta wait to play the game to figure out if they're true or not. Speaking of theories, I really enjoy the whole investigator aspect of the game. It makes you truly feel like an FBI profiler. As you explore the world, you'll find clues that you would take back to the Mind Place or Mind Palace, I don't remember what it's called. You'll organize the clues to the point where they make logical sense for the investigation, for the story to progress. Pro tip, if you're worried about placing clues in the right order or you place it in the right spot, listen for Saga's sound clues. It'll tell you if it's you're on the right track or not. There are other things you could do in the Mind Place Palace, what it's called, such as upgrading your weapons or looking at collectibles that you find in games, such as manuscripts or video and audio tapes that you find throughout the world. I really enjoyed spending my time in the Mind Place. I found it really fun trying to figure out how everything pieces together in the story, and I felt like a real investigator, because I really do like detective or investigative stories and games like Phoenix Wright, and I love detective shows. So it was really fun being in the Mind Palace, and you can definitely get lost as you're in it. But word to the wise, while you're in the Mind Place, you want to be wary of your surroundings, because the game does not pause while you're in it. So it's pretty much like Dark Souls with the pause menu, so you can get attacked while you're in the Mind Place. So you want to make sure when you're going to do it, and when you do it, how long you're in it. So yeah. The combat in this game reminds me a lot of the modern Resident Evil games, mainly the RE2 remake and RE4 remake. The inventory system is pretty much the same, where you have to, organize the items and weapons like they're puzzle pieces. It's a survival horror game, so you have limited items, so you definitely have to manage how much item you use. I didn't run out of items too many times. There's only like once or twice where it happened. It was during a boss fight, but when I did, the game gave me more items but I just pretty much had to run towards those spots where I can gather those items. But during like actual exploring the levels, I didn't really run out of ammos for me to use. The shooting also, like I said, it reminds me of like Resident Evil games, where like it kind of feels like the aiming is like slippery. Could just be me like being bad at aiming, or me getting used to like the aiming, since this is like the first few hours of me playing the game. It could be the reason, but it really does remind me of like Resident Evil, especially the enemies that you fight. They're kind of like the zombies in this sense from Resident Evil, except that they have like the shield that you have to get rid of with your flashlight. And something that wasn't in the original game is that once you get rid of the shield with the flashlight, the enemies have like this red marker on them that you have to aim and shoot at. That once you shoot at it, it'll deal like a lot of damage to them, which is pretty cool, and incentivize you learning how to aim and whatnot, and carefully consider your shots as you're aiming, which I thought was pretty good. There's dodging in this game. It's pretty decent. I do feel like it could be like a bit faster, because I feel like it's a little sluggish, but it could be something about I mean, I didn't have too many problems with the dodging in my opinion, so it's not too crazy, but I do think it could be a bit faster. But the combat is definitely fun. I don't have too many complaints about it at all. Right, so that is all of my impressions that I have about Alan Wake 2 so far. Like, I'm having a blast playing the game, like I said in the beginning. It's really good. I mean, there's some minor gripes, but like they're so small where like I don't think that there'll be that much of an issue, especially going forward. I hope this video was able to help influence your decision on getting the game. I am, like I said, I'm beyond impressed by what I played, and I can't wait to play some more. If you made it to the end of the video, let me know what you think of Alan Wake 2 after you've listened to my impressions. And if you already played the game, let me and some people know what you think about it too. Don't forget to like and like the video and subscribe to keep up to date with some of my future stuff. I got some things I have in mind to make, and also follow me on my socials, because that's when you'll know when I'm live on Twitch or when I make new videos or whatnot. But thank you guys so much for listening to me talk about Alan Wake 2, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.